On most newer cars, probably, I don't know, a year, but most new cars, instead of a sealed beam assembly like what's on my big round piece of junk, they actually just have you change a bulb instead of the whole unit. And usually that bulb is held in with a locking ring or snap assembly like what's on my truck for the turn signal bulbs. So I've never changed the bulbs in this car, but I'm going to do that today to see how it's done to learn myself and to show all my subscribers on YouTube so y'all know how to do it too. So obviously the first step is to open the car hood. And then the second step is to get out of the car, come over and open the hood. Get off my car, you ant. I'm about to call him a spider. Anyway, right now, something's on my hood. Anyway, right now, my headlight is on. So, we're going to study our lesson plan here and see what we need to do to change our headlight bulb. See what we need to do to take this off the car and then access the running light turn signal and then the headlight, my low beam, and my high beams. It seems to be an adjustment screw to either take the fog light up or down. This guy simply goes into the fog light housing like so once you line up the pegs. Anyway, it twists out. Okay, right now it's installed. And then you turn it to the left, to the passenger side of the car, about 90 degrees. And then you come in, to remove it, you come in and you turn it toward the driver's side. Maybe 45 degrees is actually what you turn it, and it just pulls straight out. And it's a little bulb, and it looks like it's actually soldered to that thing, so if it were to go bad, you'd have to replace that whole assembly. See? It looks like it's soldered. Here, and down here are the two bolts so far that I've discovered that take this bracket off the car. They're both 10mm, so we're going to spin them off real quick. And they're just speed nuts, so they're not going to be very tight, and it should come off pretty easily. I don't know how well y'all can see it, but it looks like there's a little plastic rubber retaining peg down there that holds in this cornering reflector, that corner reflector. So we're going to get ourselves a long bladed screwdriver, and we're going to see if we can pop that free so the module can come out of the car. Speaking of screwdriver for y'all, instead of being just a pry bar, these make really good back scratchers. And we're going to come in here and see if we can poke that peg out. And it looks like we can, so we may be able now to come in. Yeah, well that's hot, because the headlight's on there, see? It's hot. So, almost there. Oh, well look at that. Isn't that handy? What's keeping me, I wonder? Okay, we got the headlight assembly out of the car. This little fella right here and this little fella right here both go in these little holes here, and that holds that cornering reflector on. So now that the assembly is out of the car, we can come in, once we turn the headlights off, we can come in and take the headlights and the turn signal off the car. The thing to keep in mind when you're doing this are, there on this corner reflector, there are little plastic pegs here and here. I've broken this one, it was broken already. But when you're working with this plastic, be very, very careful, because you don't want to break it on your own car. Anyway, there are these headlights here, and what you do is you simply turn it counterclockwise or clockwise. Yeah, clockwise toward yourself, and then it just lifts out. That's your low beam, and then I think the high beam's the opposite direction. opposite direction, and then that lifts out like so, and then the turn signal has a lock. You push down and turn, and that lifts out too. So now that all the bulbs are removed, except for this fella, he looks burned out. It took about maybe 10 minutes to get that module off the car, and then to actually change the bulb, you would disconnect it from the harness, like so. You disconnect it, and then you just pull it off the weather pack connector. Let's say your high beam bulb goes out. You'd go to your local auto parts store, you'd give them this, tell them what it came off of, and then they would look it up on the computer, see what part number it was, and they'd get you another one. Remember those two little plastic pegs I was telling you about? Well, the way you do this is you angle this part in first until those pegs line up with the holes, and then you just push it in. And that puts the pegs where they need to be. And Bizarre Fred's playing with his oxy torch over there. I can hear it popping as he's trying to clean the tips. Anyway, I may have to get another one of these because that peg was broken and it may fall out or whatever. I hope it doesn't. Anyway, the pegs are in the holes where they belong, and then we're going to put in our two 10mm bolts again. Best to hand start them so you don't cross thread them. And I don't know what the torque setting is on these. I just say a little past finger tight, because once again, just like on the big brown piece of junk video, you don't want them coming loose or going down the highway. You don't want a wobbly headlight. And it's probably best to use a solid socket or a box end wrench with this nut down here, so you can get in and get it tight easier. That was a video on how you take out the headlight module on your 97 Bonneville and change headlights, turn signals, cornering lamps, whatever. Most of the time they go bad. Most of the time replacing it fixes it. And that little piece right there on the low beam, that reflector or whatever it's called, is not part of the bulb, it's part of the module. And that's a plastic lens, so there's no chance of breaking it if it were to drop or anything. You just scuff it, maybe put a mark in there or something, but I'm going to do a video in the future on how you clean up plastic lenses so they look like they're brand new from the factory. And this little guy here, I broke a peg, so he may be okay, he may not. I may have to get another one. I don't know, the other one's kind of like that too. Anyway, and of course, after you've changed your headlight, you want to make sure that the new one works. We got our low beam, let's try our high beam. We got our high beam. Let's see if we got a turn signal. And we got a turn signal. Well, now let's check our fog light, because we messed with that too. I should have lit it up. And we got a fog light. Say hello, fog light. Until next time, this is a Keykeeper signing off.